time is such a valuable resource, and we don't realize how important it is. It's Ed Milet. He says, well, just one more day, one more day, power of one more, right?
Yeah.
If we can just make it one more day, because like even 9 years pass, right? You're just how easy it is to go back to that human we always were.
Super easy.
Rather than the one that we want to be or who we're becoming.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the #1 mental health and addiction podcast, The Hopeaholics. I am your girl, Natalie Eva Marie, and these are my boys.
I'm Chad.
Hi, I'm Shane.
Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and follow us on our socials and wherever you get your podcasts.
Got a new episode dropping every Monday and Thursday. Please come check it out.
This episode is brought to you by the Infinity Group. You guys, if you or a loved one is suffering, please call us today. The number is right here on the screen. We are here for you 24/7. Now, let's get into the episode.
Jesse,
Yeah, welcome,
to
Jesse.
the Hopeaholics Podcast.
Wow.
We really like to.
Yeah.
I think we're still a little extra because we do a Patreon podcast.
Oh, that's right.
We just started, so I think
We get crazy.
we're like NC-17 at the moment
And we
on
did,
our brain.
Yeah, we did one yesterday, and the Patreon we can do and say
Obnoxious.
whatever we want.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole point of it, because it's not regular social media. People have to pay to be and watch us. So we
We let loose.
we really let loose yesterday.
Yeah.
It's a little unhinged.
It is.
Really,
what we
that's,
like.
you know,
That was actually one of the names that we were going to use was Unhinged. We ended up with Off the Record.
Oh, that's nice.
But Unhinged was one of the ones, wasn't it, Emily? Yeah, I went home last night, told my wife all about the Patreon.
I did not. I did not. She asked me about it. I said, yeah, whatever.
Did she?
She said, how many of you people do you have? I go, I don't know. Who cares?
And I didn't tell my mom I don't want her to get on.
Yeah, I don't want her to get on either.
My mom's already a VIP member.
Whoa, is she?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
because Penny is...
You know what I'm
That's
going to do?
helpful.
I'm going to get a pair of my underwear, white underwear. I'm going to sign it. I'm going to send it to his mom. She'd love that. She'd love that.
She'll go down to the police station and get a restraining order.
she'd come in with the underwear. What are you doing, Dad? You know what? That's a film right there. That's that. I'm doing it.
Terrifying.
I'm doing it. Done.
You know what? You said you were doing it with the. So I'm sorry.
Anyway.
Jesse.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, wow. You're right. Let's get back on
Wait,
track.
no, really quick. You said you were doing it with the when I had you buy that thong.
I couldn't. My wife wouldn't let me.
No,
I put it on for her, bro.
you said you were
You
going to
should've
write.
Should have seen her face.
You said you were going
I
to
have
ride.
no idea what's
You should
going
have seen her.
on.
My
Yes,
wife's
you
face.
do.
Welcome,
He was supposed
welcome.
to ride his bike
I
around.
know.
Yes,
thong?
and I had it
In a
the,
thong.
Yes, I had the thong on,
out?
and I was in the living room. I was walking downstairs, so she said, "Oh hell no!
Apologies.
Look at your ass! Are you kidding me? That's like nothing."
Hank
No,
Hill.
she would not allow it. She said, "That's good. What kind of crowd do you want to attract?" She said, and I said, "Yeah, but Steve-O does it."
And what kind
And what
of
did
crowd
she
does he-
say?
No,
What did
she walked away and slammed the door.
Slam the door.
Yeah, shut the door, anyways. I think the wind shut it.
Why didn't you get one of your children to video it?
That's abuse. I think I could go to jail for that. Could you imagine making them do that?
No.
How? Oh, that's ooh. I would scar them for life.
Let's get back on track here.
We've only
boys.
been doing this for 3 minutes. Take it easy. Hey, Jesse, you're part of the family.
Yo, I love being
You know.
Dysfunctional.
Thanks
love
for
it.
thanks for coming in and,
Yeah.
and hanging out with us.
Oh, absolutely. I was like, the next time I make it out to this coast, because I'm from the East Coast. and
Okay.
So, like, the next time I make it out west, I definitely want to come see you guys. My best friend Amber was with you guys last
Oh my
year.
goodness,
And
okay.
So, yeah, and you guys got to go to Talladega, right?
Yes.
We
No,
went
no,
to
no,
Daytona.
Daytona.
Oh, even sicker.
Even sicker. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's during bike weeks after, but
Yeah.
yeah,
It was
you gotta
crazy.
go there if you like
Jets flew
songs.
by.
Yeah, go during bike.
Oh my
week.
gosh, you guys are best friends?
Yeah.
How did you guys meet?
So we have another mutual best friend from Canada.
Okay.
Her name is Jamie Dakota. She started a touch-up detail paint business
Oh,
here in the
wow.
States, like straight up American dream, Canadian
Yeah.
immigrant. And her and Amber grew up together. And so when I met Jamie, started hanging out with her, Amber came into the picture. It was cool. Like, I got to watch her go from not knowing how she was going to pay her rent, not knowing when she was going to race again, to having that full season. And that was like the
That's
coolest,
huge.
the most inspiring thing to watch.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, Amber is a great human being and a good representation of Winnipeg, Canada.
Oh, and I'm not?
No.
No.
Are you from Winnipeg
I
too?
am.
Shane and Lee. I mean,
I'm from the edge of Winnipeg, though.
and where was Amber?
She's
Right in the middle.
more loud. She was loud in the middle.
So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is awesome.
It's
We really
cool.
like her. We like that competitive sport, that competitive nature in everybody, actually. You know, you got to do something.
100%. 100%.
Otherwise, you're finished.
Well, it's like you have to have purpose, right? And
Yeah.
I think so that's the big problem in society these days is people don't have purpose. There's no guidance. It's not something that's taught in school. It's like, oh no, you go to college and you get a career, but like, wait a minute, what's your purpose in life? What are you serving?
So
I agree.
where are you from, and where did you grow up?
Oh, so I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, but I grew up in northeastern Ohio in a place called Canton. We're known for the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And I moved when I was 16 years old. I raced off-road on four-wheelers.
Oh, damn.
And so my sponsor lived in North Carolina and talked my parents into moving. And my sister and I moved in with him and his family for 4 months before my parents relocated.
Wow.
Wow. At 16?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I lived in the same house, went to the same school, grew up with the same people up until I was 16 and then moved states away.
How was that?
It was intense. And we went from like, I lived in Ohio being an atheist to moving
wow.
to the Bible Belt.
Totally.
Yeah. And so it was like, when people asked me, you know, they didn't ask my name first. It was, what church do you go to? And I was like, oh, no, I don't believe in that. I'm cool. I'm good. And then eventually that changes, though.
Now, why do you think that changed? Because of your location and the people that were around you? Or were you just all of a sudden interested into what they were talking about and what this church thing was?
No, it didn't change until the day before I got paralyzed.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
The day before?
The day before I got saved.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So let's jump into that really quick because how did you get paralyzed?
So I was a passenger on a motorcycle. I grew up racing off-road. I had a really cool life. And I quickly found my favorite addiction was sex.
Oh, wow.
And so from a young age, I was 13 when I started having sex. Multiple partners. I couldn't tell you how many people I'd been with by the time I was 18. And got pregnant at 15, had an abortion. It was a tubular pregnancy. And I honestly was in no shape to be a teen parent.
Yeah.
Went from alcohol to pills. I was snorting pills off the back of toilets at work. I was an orthodontic assistant working on kids' teeth and completely abusing. And I went from abusing pills to abusing people and using people. And so it was of just constantly trying to find that next fix, that next high, whether it was sex, pills, or alcohol. And I got on the back of a bike with somebody that I had been using with and drinking and using. And a woman made a U-turn in front of us and he just never stopped. And so he went through the back window, broke his leg. I went over the SUV. I broke my back in 2 places. My chest collapsed. My ribs punctured my lungs, nicked my spinal cord. I have a traumatic brain injury and I coded twice and had to be resuscitated. And at some point when I coded, I saw my grandmother and she told me, Jesi May, it's not your time. I can't come with you. You can't come with me. But there's things you have to do and people you've got to get back to. So you have to go now. Sent me back. I woke up. I told my mom that. My mom's like, holy crap, she died. She talked to my mom. She died. And then my dad thought she was crazy. A few weeks later, he got my medical records and it said I coded twice, had to be resuscitated. I'm so blessed to be here.
Yeah.
How old were you?
22. Yeah. And so the day before my accident, I was at my ex-boyfriend's funeral. I had a longtime boyfriend that, again, cheated on regularly, never appreciated. But his grandmother was my adult grandmother. And so she passed and I was at her funeral. And as the pastor was speaking, I felt this warm calmness come over me. And I just knew everything was going to be okay. But I thought it was with Granny's passing. The next day, I'm in this life-changing motorcycle accident where I gained my purpose.
Damn.
It's heavy
Yeah.
and amazing all at the and beautiful all at the same time. And it reaffirms, we just had a gentleman on the podcast that died as well. The only reason why he's alive right now is because he has a 19-year-old girl's heart in his chest. And he said almost verbatim what you said. It wasn't his grandma, but it was his best friend.
something. I don't remember.
Best friend? Lewis, yeah. And it was actually technically supposed to be his time, and they were taking him, and he's like, I can't go. I can't. And they let him come back, but said it was going to be very painful.
I could relate to that. I wasn't told about the pain part. I was just told that I had some stuff to do back here. And I was like, well, I guess we're going to send it and figure it out. And so, I mean, it wasn't an immediate change in my lifestyle. I got out of the hospital and I was like, well, I just spent 3 months in the hospital detoxing essentially. Sure. So we're not going to go back to pills, but I went right back to drinking. And my paralyzed body couldn't handle it. I got infection after infection in my bladder. So when you get paralyzed, you not only lose sensation below your level of injury, you also lose bowel bladder function typically. And so I use catheters to pee, and I use a device that uses warm tap water to irrigate my bowels out. It's essentially like a colonic, but it's prescribed. And so that was the hardest part after my injury, and I ignored it. And so every time I drank, I would poop myself the next day.
Oh my gosh.
Or I would get a UTI. And when you get a UTI as a paraplegic, you pee yourself nonstop, your legs spasm. And so my legs would spasm. I'd flip over backwards, and then I'd be stuck on the floor. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So if you don't change anything, nothing changes. Yeah. And I was like, Jesi, killing yourself is not an option. I looked at the gun. I thought about it. I'm like, I just can't do it. My grandma sent me back for a reason. I already died. I just can't do that to my family. So I was like, that's not an option. Well, what's the other option? We could try and figure out what this life has to offer us. And so the first year I focused on trying to walk again. The second year I found adaptive sports, and that changed my life. I got community. I got camaraderie. I gained some kind of purpose. I didn't feel like I was just wasting away in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And I think that's the hardest thing. Like, I went from being a sex addict to having no sensation in my vagina. Totally. So that purpose that I had created for myself essentially was now gone. So what are we going to do now? What's next? I was very fortunate when I got paralyzed. I ended up getting a full factory ride from Polaris. And so I continued to race off-road for 3 years after my injury. I used cannabis, I still do. I use cannabis to manage my pain. And our team owner at the time did not like that. So I got kicked off the team and then wasn't able to race anymore. But I think that played a massive role in me feeling normal, because it was something I did before I was injured, and I was able to still do it after. And I was like, okay, I'm normal. Let's see what this wheelchair life has to offer. And that's when I dove into what the wheelchair has to offer, because we look at it and it's like, oh, you're limited. Oh, that's so sad. Darn, you use a wheelchair. But in reality, this is the best thing that ever happened to me, man.
Wow, it's I'm like the managing the pain with the cannabis. I'm like way better than opioids, right? 1,000 times better than opioids. Mandy managed her pain as well with cannabis. So you had a factory ride. Do you know Sarah Price?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. So that's one of Jamie's, how I met Amber Balkan. Our friend Jamie is also friends with Sarah, and Sarah was in her wedding, bachelorette party, and everything. So when we came out to Vegas for her bachelorette, I got to actually meet Sarah and build that relationship. She's dope. She's from this area.
Yeah. Just not very far away. I mean, she lives in Arizona now, but she was on our podcast because her and Natalie know each other from. They're both Monster. Monster. I can say that
under the Monster umbrella.
Under the Monster brand.
That's crazy. And I mean, it makes sense. Off-roading is like a very small world, and then put women on top of that, it's even smaller.
It's even smaller, yeah.
So it makes sense. But I can't even, I think I'm lost for words, because being 22, your brain essentially too is not even fully developed. So then to all of a sudden take one thing dramatically, life-changing overnight, I couldn't even imagine the mental gymnastics that you had to kind of walk through to be the person that just nonchalantly and was so gracefully telling that story while I'm having chills and going through it in my head is wild. I don't know how Was your family there to support you through it all?
Yeah, I mean, I got the perfect storm. My parents were there. My best friend drove an hour and a half every day to come see me in the hospital. Like, my support system early on was there. And to be fair, and it wasn't until I wrote my book that I realized this, I've always been on some kind of wheels in my life.
Oh, shit.
Even before I was even in the picture, my parents met through trucking. Because my mom's a truck driver and my dad was working at a place that she delivered at, and that's how they met. And then before I could walk, I had a pedal car and a Power Wheels Jeep, and there was blocks on the pedals so my foot could sit on the pedal and we could ride it in circles until the battery died. And it was like, and then I started riding go-karts, and then I started racing off-road, and it's like the wheelchair was just another extension of getting to be on wheels. Now, I make it sound like it wasn't hard. It was definitely difficult at first, because now I have to figure out who the heck is Jesi.
Yeah.
Like, who is Jesi? Remove all the bull crap, all the labels, all this crap that I've placed on myself and who I've defined myself to be as this party girl, bad girl, whatever. Remove all that. Like, at the core, who is Jesi? And I just went on this deep diving, like, self-development journey. And it just started with adaptive sports. I found CrossFit. CrossFit changed my life. I lost 30 pounds, ended up competing. I've competed in 5 CrossFit games. I'm currently 5th in the world for seated without hip.
Sick.
And that, I mean, that changed my life. And I'm like, all right, so if I'm working out and I'm trying to get stronger and stop getting stuck on the floor, essentially, I need to eat better. But not only should I fuel my body better physically, what am I consuming? And I started becoming very intentional about what I was consuming. And then I was like, all right, what's the fastest way? The Paralympics. And I joined the curling team, the sport on ice.
Yeah.
So I go from like off-road to curling.
Yeah.
And it's cool because it's so slow. It's so technical. And so I was on the national developmental team for curling for 3 years. And that in itself, trying out for Team USA twice, trying to get on the Paralympic team, like, you got to put a lot of mental work. And so I feel like curling's really where I started deep diving into who Jesi was and that personal development journey, and really getting to the point where I can say, I'm grateful I'm paralyzed, because I truly am. I've gotten such a rad life from it. And I will say the first 5 years were the hardest. The last 5 years have been awesome. So it's been 10 years. I'm 32.
Wow.
Yeah. A decade in a wheelchair.
Yeah, that's wild.
I think the wildest part is I actually started recovering. So I have it's like 50% function in my right quad, probably 30% function in my left hamstring and glute, and I regained full sensation of hot and cold in my legs in the last 2 years.
In the last 2 years?
Yeah.
Do you do any other like peptides or anything like that?
I co-own a wellness facility in Lake Norman, North Carolina. We have cold plunge, infrared sauna, PEMF, Vibex, red light. All the recovery modalities. And so I bought into that last year. And I will say, when I started using the stuff that we offer, that's when I started noticing more sensation changes. Like, I would Vibex and PEMF and then hop in the cold plunge, and I'm like, whoa, my feet are on fire. This is what our clients have been saying.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy crap, I feel that my feet are on fire right now.
I felt that before in the cold plunge, like my feet, and Shane feels it in his hands really bad.
I don't put my hands in.
He can't put.
Yeah,
I can't.
I do. I'm like, I'm down.
Oh no, I'm definitely like, I'm for sure deep neck, but I'm like
this.
My hands are always out.
I'm like this, holding on behind me, because also I don't have my lower body to hold me in the water, so I'm just kind of like floating around.
Damn.
I like your just your whole attitude. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just really, y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I'm so grateful to get to be alive. Like, there was 2 chances that I could have not been sitting here, and God was like, hey, you're not done yet. And like, during the pandemic, my right before the pandemic in 2019, my niece committed suicide. And then the following year during the pandemic, my cousin committed suicide. And both times I felt jealousy. And so it wasn't really until 2020 when I was like, okay, God, I'm done trying to strong arm this. What is my mission and your purpose for my life? I'm giving it all to you. Show me what I need to do. Show me what I need to do, how I need to move, how I'm here to serve you in your mission. And that's when life unlocked. Like, the coolest opportunities just kept coming, and they keep coming. And I mean, it led to me finishing a book. So my book comes out later this year.
Wow.
It's called Power in the Role. And I'm so excited because it's just like, I went through every single really crappy decision I made and every single hardship, and just where I made life harder than it had to be. And now I get to pay it forward to younger Jesi and hope that she consumes that. And maybe we can save some people from making some of those wrong decisions.
Good for you. Like, it's wild. I couldn't imagine.
No, you know,
So it's
Eric
hard.
and I, I'm trying to also. I mean, I'm just so impressed.
Me too.
Not only with her, with we had another lady on here who did Kilimanjaro. I find anybody that's in a wheelchair, not from birth, to adapt, just it's incredible.
But it just goes to show how important and how powerful the human brain and mindset really
And
is.
the family.
Because we put our limits on ourselves.
Right.
Because you very well could have put a massive limit, and everybody that in society would understand, like, it's okay, but you didn't allow that. You broke through that barrier that sometimes we ourselves either put on ourselves or allow others to limit us to. But ultimately, he allows us to do more than we even can imagine. And you're living proof of it.
Yeah.
Because the things that you've already done is incredible.
If we stop long enough to listen.
Right.
We constantly are trying to
And allow
drown
it.
out.
Allow it.
Yeah, allow it to flow to us and come to us. Because I feel like we're constantly trying to drown things out, whether it's with social media or that phone. And it wasn't until I recently found literally the love of my life, amazing human. And I pay attention to how much he picks up his phone, and it's made me more mindful about how much I pick up my phone.
Sure.
And I'm like, how often are we just mindlessly giving this piece of technology and missing what's around us? And I feel like that's a big reason that people just get lost in the sauce.
I think there's a I'm sure you boys have seen it. I think we've talked about it before, but a viral clip of like 50 Cent saying, like, being depressed is basically like a quality problem, where like generational, like my parents, they didn't have time to think about anything other than get to work. Where now we have things, DoorDash is like you can get room service every single day. Everything is like
at your house.
Yeah, literally. So everything is so like so much easier, which is also great. But then I think a massive problem, because now we have so much that we're in our own way. And so now you just sit idle because you want everything to just kind of happen for you instead of just getting to work. You don't have time to think about, I don't have this, I don't have that. Trying to keep up with the Joneses. You're trying to keep a roof over your head and feed your family.
You just made something kind of click and unlock for me. So I have a nonprofit called Wheel With Me Foundation. We serve the independence of wheelchair users. Goal is to build a transitional community, essentially a halfway house to teach wheelchair users how to be independent by other wheelchair users. But when you look at the wheelchair using community as a whole, it's sometimes a lot of times people that this happens to, or people born with a disability, they get coddled, and then they feel entitled because life had been so easy up until that point of everything should work for me. This isn't fair. And then they don't put the effort in. And that's exactly what I did early on. I was like, well, you should feel bad for me because I use a wheelchair. You should help me because I use a wheelchair. And when I switched my frame of like, no, this is how I can help you. This is how I want to help you. It's nothing to do with my wheelchair. Like, life is hard regardless.
For sure.
I got a little different hard than other people, but there's plenty of people that aren't in my situation where their perspective of their life is just as hard as my day to day.
Absolutely.
And so who am I to judge anyone else?
Right. Yeah.
That's not up for me, you know?
Totally.
Yeah.
It's so true.
I mean, that is a beautiful way to look at life, the way you're looking at it. You know, and it takes work for all of us to look at life that way. You know, I can look at life and just be like, you know, I matter of fact, this morning on my way home, and I'm so glad that like I had on my Apple CarPlay and I turned on my video and I started talking to my video because I was, you know, vlogging, and when my Apple CarPlay is on, usually the mic doesn't work.
Oh yeah, it gets muted.
Yeah. So I did this whole like 4-minute rant on my way home from the gym
worked?
about, no, it did not.
Good.
And it was great because when I was done, I realized I was on Apple CarPlay and I was like, oh, great, I'm on Apple CarPlay. So I'm still talking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so you'll probably won't hear any of this.
But you should put it in.
Huh?
You should put it in.
No.
You should put it in.
No. Because it was just me like bitching about
that's
the
part of
fact
it,
that like life is hard right now. But there's no sound to it.
Exactly.
And you know what? Life is really not that hard right now. It's like my whole perspective of life, because it's not exactly how I want it to be today.
Yes.
You know, like, bro, you were still bitching and complaining when life was exactly how
Totally.
you wanted it to be 1 year ago today. So chill the fuck out and put a smile on your face. And then you come in here and with the smile on your face and give us the real perspective of how we're supposed to look at life.
When's the last time you practiced gratitude?
Practice it.
Yeah,
Like I
take a moment in your day to just be like, you know what? I am grateful for my wife, the fact I have a roof over my head, the fact I'm in a car, the fact I have the use of my body to go to a gym. Anytime I feel, because I get like that.
Oh, yeah.
I get like that. And I'm like, oh, this is bullshit. Why am I struggling so hard? And anytime I get like that, it's usually because I forgot to be grateful.
Yeah. I forget to be grateful.
It's easy to forget.
I try to stay grateful, you know, and then some days you wake up and you just forget to do.
I take it for granted almost every day.
Every day?
Almost every day.
You know what? I think there's moments, but I think ever since that I've been really disciplined with my current thing right now is like a non-negotiable hour minimum. No, doesn't matter what time I go to bed or what time I have to get up. I'm like in the Bible, 1 hour minimum. So like today I was actually in it for like 2.5, but it's because it puts my head, obviously like, cause I work a 12-step program. So we have like our suggested things that we do in the morning, but I used to skim kind of through those, especially like as years go on. But I think it really drops perspective in your brain right out the gate, because my mind is not the healthiest if I'm not doing that, because I can easily go into like, but I want this and I want that. Well, who cares? You know, it doesn't matter. But when it's just thinking about like being able to get up and go to the restroom in the middle of the night, that's a blessing. Like it's little things like that. That's where it kind of keeps my head into what's really important. And life is lifey for everybody. And obviously things we want and always more and always better. But I'm the happiest and most content I've ever been in my entire life.
How long have you been practicing that?
I've always had a really good relationship with my higher power, but it goes in waves, like, you know, of seasons or life or whatever is going on. But I would say consistently now with like the Bible, like a solid...
Like 6 weeks.
A little longer than that. A little longer than that, because I was started going back to church maybe almost 2 and a bit ago.
I think I noticed it about 6 weeks ago, because that's when you
Started
it
floating,
was really before, no, because I was watching her before we even actually had the date that we were opening up her treatment center, and it's been like 30 days. And it was a couple weeks before that she was like already in it, and I was like, oh, this is
a new change, nice change.
No, it was just like, it just seemed like the right time to open the doors. It just was like flow. Everything all of a sudden started flowing, you know, like the clients, the everything, staff. I mean, we didn't even have enough staff, but it was like, bro, her and Catherine were working shifts.
Yeah, they were.
12-hour shifts and
Longer
stuff
than
like that. 24-hour shifts.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I felt like the Holy Spirit filled me, so I wasn't tripping. Like, I'm not sleep deprived, which is weird, but I think that's what is addicting. I have addictive personality, clearly, so I'm going to be addicted to that because I'm a spiritual hog. That's what Joyce Meyer says. So I'm going to be a spiritual hog.
Good one.
I'll take it all.
I like that.
You know, but it keeps my head in the right spot, because in the grand scheme of things, like if you looked at my personal life, shit's probably not the ideal, but it's the best. It's
It's weird. So listening to you, even just like when you started kind of walking us through your journey, I mean, the boys call me Chatty Natty, but I was kind of lost for words because of the grace that you have when you're delivering such a hardship. Because I'm thinking about how would I handle something like that? Because it can make or break someone's soul.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So the fact that you've been able to kind of like walk through that fire and then be able to deliver it with such just such ease, and also to serve, because that's really the main reason why we're here on earth, is to serve others, especially when we go through such hardships that each one of us have gone through in a different way, is to give back to the other one, and hopefully somebody doesn't have to experience that pain that we endured for them. And if you can do that with one, then well done.
All it takes is one, because then that one can go change one.
Contagious.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
I,
amazing. You're amazing.
So are
Yes, you are.
I appreciate
Strong.
y'all for just, sharing the platform and just getting to be here. I'm stoked to get to be with y'all, because y'all are some powerful humans, and just to get to, I believe in energy exchanges.
For sure.
Right?
I do too.
And this is just one massive energy exchange where we're all going to leave just a little better. And guess what we get to do? We get to go serve others with that energy.
For sure. But you know how I was saying yesterday? Sorry, you were gonna say something.
No, it's fine.
You know how I was saying yesterday, like you have to. I get the question about, like, I can't do it. I can't get sober, right? And I mentioned to the guys yesterday when we were doing our Patreon, it's like, you're a perfect example of like finding that inner dog. Like, you gotta dig deep. You gotta find that like inner strength to push on, because you're saying all the time, when the pain of remaining the same.
Yeah. Outweighs the fear of change.
Because it's like, we all can get stuck. Like, I can talk myself into depression for sure. And all of the other bad things, but I also can talk myself out of it. So it's like, you're a testament of something that is a horrible accident that happened, but you're able to then flourish.
I think that because I lean so hard into our Creator.
Yeah.
How did that happen? Because you said you grew up atheist.
So I was in and out of church growing up.
Okay.
And I chose atheism because I'm like, there's nothing there. Life is after I got pregnant.
Oh, okay.
And the abortion. I'm like, there's nothing
Sure.
out there. It doesn't matter. And I think it was my way of coping. I never
Sure.
got therapy or anything. And it was just, I can't explain how this warm calmness and just like everything's going to be okay. Mm-hmm. I was like, holy crap, there's a God. But I didn't start pouring into it until I kept feeling these signs of jealousy. And I realized I couldn't do this life alone. And I needed my God. I needed that guidance. And it's been incredible. I mean, the last 5 years since I gave my life to God has been unreal. Like last year. So on my vision board, I love when your vision board comes to life.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
I've had America, and I'm like, somehow I want to represent America. I don't know how. I just love this country. I love being an American. I think it's really cool. And I got a call from Team USA for a content creator partnership for the Paralympics. And so they flew me to Paris for the Paralympics. I got to be there for the whole duration of the games and get to cover it on my social media channel. And like years that had been on my vision board. And then here it is. I'm like, wow. You don't realize when you're in the work and when you're in those deep areas where you really want to quit and you really want to go back to being who you were. And you're like, it was easier. It may have been easier in the moment to make that easy choice that's comfortable for you, because being uncomfortable doesn't feel easy. Mm-hmm. But it's like, do you want to live a hard life now or a hard life later? And I'm like,
now.
I mean, like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, life is already going to be hard for me regardless. Like, I'm trying to age with grace. I'm thinking about the longevity of my independence. I'm like, I don't want to be 56 years old and have to have someone transfer me and wipe my butt. Like, I'm trying to do that as long as I can. Mm-hmm. And so that's where my perspective really shifted, where I was like, okay, it's not about Jesi today. It's about Jesi 10 years from now, 15 years, 20 years. And I'm constantly thinking about that in depth in the future, especially when it comes to my body.
That's awesome.
It's funny. I do the same. I do. The last 10 years or so, I've been thinking, what am I going to be like in 10 years? How am I going to get up? How am I going to make it up the stairs? How am I going to pick my kids up? How am I going to pet the dog? How am I going to walk?
I mean, you got to really think about that too, though, because like, you know where I'm going.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
I'm not going.
Holy Jesus!
It's just
Do you
that
see what I'm dealing with here?
this
I
dude,
saw it coming.
I mean, I'm 40 only, and this guy is talking like I'm 60.
this dude decides to have a kid at 52 years old. Like, bro,
She's beautiful. She's just unbelievable.
she is, but he's like had a child at 51.
I just told her I was 40. She believed me.
I did believe you too.
See?
He's not
You
41.
I'm 60.
That's
I'm 50,
honestly,
58,
that's more
58,
common than
58.
you think, though.
It is.
Because men are able to.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure. They age like fine wine. It's
Right.
annoying.
See?
Correct.
I know.
That's
It is weird.
I just want to be
it's
clear.
Like
That's
such a weird thing, but I agree.
that's beard dye on his face. Because yesterday it was fucking white.
Yeah. I
It
thought
looks good though. It looks really good.
It looks natural.
Yeah, it looks
Does
really
look
natural.
natural.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I put it
good
in
job.
light. I put it in light.
Yeah, you did a good job.
I was thinking of Gia the whole time.
Gio.
Don't make it too dark, because oh shit, it's dark. It's dark.
I have a 16-year-old
Yeah.
daughter that's like one of those
God,
people that's
she's
just
just
honest.
I love
Right?
that.
Yeah, really.
My wife said the other person that's honest is Emily. So she says that Emily will tell the truth.
Yeah.
Which is true. But my 16-year-old just doesn't matter if it hurts your feelings. She just says it.
Yeah.
We need that back in this world.
I agree.
We need more of that.
I like it. I like it.
Think about it, if we were honest, we could just stop
For
people
sure.
more. That's my
100%.
favorite thing with coaching. I'm like, listen, I coach nutrition is my
Yeah.
big passion.
Yeah.
Like
Mind, body, soul. I'm with
food
it.
is power.
Totally.
Dude.
Health is wealth.
I lost my independence 5 years in my injury. I couldn't transfer. I couldn't get dressed. I was eating 30 grams of protein a day. Like, no wonder I did that
Yeah,
for 5 years straight, using my arms as my legs and working out on top of it. Like, and not only just working out, doing CrossFit. I'm lucky I didn't have to have shoulder surgery. And I fixed my nutrition, started eating in general, but eating enough protein.
Mm-hmm.
My shoulder issues went away in 6 months. And I'm like, and I tell my clients, I'm like, listen, I'll fire you. I ain't playing. You don't want to put the work in. I don't want your money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for you to get better. It's not about your money. The money is so you actually commit. But that's not enough. Clearly, so you clearly don't want the change. You're not ready. We'll come back to this later. Every time.
Yeah, I'm not going to work harder than you. And I'm not going to chase you. So if
Yep.
you want to show up, I'll ride with you. If you don't, sorry.
We
I'll
have to
always
do
be
the
here.
Same
Totally.
thing with like our clients,
Yep.
because it was our real job, like our job that we have outside of podcast. This actually isn't even a job for us. This is our passion, or what we do for fun. We own drug and alcohol treatment centers, right? So
We hear it all.
Yeah.
The excuses, but you don't understand. No, I do.
well, I do. I
I do.
understand. Been there.
Been there, done that.
Been
Probably
there.
worse too.
Yeah. Did we just make you fall asleep?
A little bit.
Is that boring?
No.
I love that. I mean, because that's you're making a real difference.
Yeah,
in
real
people's
difference.
lives. Like,
Not only that, but the family's lives. You know, because sometimes let's face it, we don't make it sometimes. Sometimes people get into an accident, they don't make it. They go the other route. That's it.
Yeah.
We can save the family. So there's got to be a safe place for the family to go to and to survive.
that's so cool. Especially providing it out here too.
Yeah.
How do we get you guys out east?
I know.
We're working. We're working on it.
I know. Joe B's out on the East Coast.
Yeah. We're working on it.
Eventually, we're gonna be a global
Yeah, global.
I
vision.
love that.
That's our vision board. It's funny you said about the vision board thing though, because like vision boards are so seem to be really powerful to me. I've never actually really done a vision board, but when Amber was here, she was sitting right where you're sitting, and on her vision board was a picture of Natalie Eva Marie.
Mm-hmm.
And like
So crazy.
they were having a moment, and Shane blew the moment, but whatever. It was going to be a really good reel too. Probably would have been our biggest viral reel ever. You know how many of those you've screwed up?
What if?
Especially
What if?
But what's funny is 10 years ago, Natalie she does vision journals,
Yeah.
and
I try to do the vision board. I'm just not like artistic enough to like put
Well,
pictures.
Chad,
of
good
things.
for you for remembering that she does a vision journal, because I had no clue. Good for you.
But he's
Thanks.
exactly correct, because
Yeah.
it's like I've always wanted to do like the board and
You're a
like,
listener.
the photos
You're
and
listening.
stuff.
You listen to girls.
But
I'm just saying.
I would like tried to like cut little things out, and I was just like I couldn't get that part. But I definitely write a ton. I write every day.
Yeah.
So
So
he's correct.
10 years ago, her vision board was to meet Shane and I.
Yeah, two great people.
No, team. Meet a team.
Meet a team.
That can help me with the dream that I'm actually sitting and doing at this current moment. But God made me wait a
10
decade.
years.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And who would have thought that it was
Shane
that we were
fulfilled
part
the
of
dream.
that we were
Fulfilled the
part-
dream of
that we
Natalie
were
Eva
part,
Marie.
part of that.
Shane and Chad filled the dream of Natalie Eva Marie. Wow, I've never said it out loud like that before. It's kind it's empowering.
Right?
It's empowering.
That's a good reel
Wow.
right there.
You're missing Penny, Ernie, Catherine,
Whoa,
Peter, Charlie.
Whoa, yes, we agree.
The rest
But
of
they're
the
not
team.
Yeah.
here. They're not here.
They're here.
But without us,
Yeah, without
they
us.
don't exist.
There we go.
They don't
There
exist.
we go.
well,
Let us bask.
Well, Penny and Ernie.
technically, Penny and
Penny and
Ernie,
Ernie.
without them,
Let us bask
you don't
in the
exist.
sunshine.
And then this doesn't exist. So,
Let us bask in the bronze of your beautiful skin.
Yeah, just give us our moment.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
You've had your moment.
Yeah.
We haven't had it
This
yet.
is it right here. This is our pinnacle of our life.
Yeah,
We made it.
we did.
God.
We've arrived.
Yeah.
nope. And that's when God humbles your ass.
Get back down.
No.
Life is truly good though, and it's I mean, you're inspiring.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest because like so you said something Natalie earlier about your spirit either gets broken or whatever. I think while you were saying that is like when something tragic like what happened to you or even just the stuff that's happened to me, my spirit did get broken. And that's the only reason why I've been able to power through to the other side because my spirit got freaking broken. And your spirit got broken but you didn't break, but you broke through.
And God heals the broken.
And
That's the whole purpose.
we
Like,
don't just get broken once either,
Totally.
though, right? Like
Exactly.
it's a continuous thing. We're constantly rebuilding. I think if we are not continuing to grow as human beings, we're doing a disservice
Sure.
to ourselves, to the creator. And yeah, I had no choice though. It was like, okay,
No, you had a
could choose-
choice.
No, I could be miserable
Yeah.
in my reality, or I
Yeah.
could be
and not live to your fullest
There
potential.
we go.
Right.
There
And that's
we
what
go.
makes you depressed, and that's what makes you not happy because subconsciously, us as humans, we know that we're made for more.
Yeah.
We know
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and you know when you're falling short, and you know when you're not putting in the effort, and that's what kills you. But without you knowing, if you haven't become that self-aware yet, that's what's eating you alive is doing that. Like you're resting on your laurels, or you're wanting things to just like happen for you, or I'm praying, but like you got to be action.
You're
takes-
praying but not doing the work.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like God's not a genie. Like he's not going to like grant you what you wish for. That's like insane.
Well, there
You
is
know?
that story where God the guy was praying, he was in the flood. He was stuck on the roof of the house.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a
That's a
great
really good
story,
one.
and I'm
Tell
not going to
us.
finish the whole
I know.
story.
It's only
Well,
three.
he sent the guy in the
Oh,
boat,
yeah.
and then he sent the helicopter,
Yeah.
and the guy still he said no to everybody, and then finally he dies. And he goes to heaven and he's like, God, why didn't you? Where were you?
Yeah.
And he said,
Fool.
I.
Fool. You fucking idiot.
Basically.
At this point, you call the guy an idiot. Come on, man.
Yeah.
God's not polite at this point. You are an idiot. Okay,
He's
come
like,
on,
bro. I sent you a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, fuck.
I sent you a log. I sent you a
Yeah.
bout. I sent you a
Fucking threw the
helicopter. I
helicopter.
sent you a effing helicopter.
Yeah.
And you were like,
Nah.
nah.
We'll wait for God.
Right.
I don't know. My favorite thing is when people try to put their perspective of your life on you, and maybe this
Right.
happens. This happens
Limiting.
regardless of who you are, right?
Yes.
But it's like when I tell people, "Oh, I was in a motorcycle accident.
Sure.
And I got paralyzed." Is it permanent? Well, yeah, it's. I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
God, I say, God willing,
Yeah.
I'm starting to heal. So I mean, I don't know what He has planned for my life. I'm just rocking with what He's got, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I'm like, what the hell are you sorry for? Like, my life is, I've done more from this wheelchair than I ever did when I could walk. I've done 15 Tough Mudders, which is like a
Wow.
Spartan race.
Yes.
I've done World's Toughest Mudder 4 times.
Damn.
24-hour event.
That's
Like,
solid.
Hypothermic.
Yeah, yeah,
freezing
yeah.
Cold. Yeah, yeah. like that in itself, I've traveled the country. I've drove out here from North Carolina by myself 3 times, drove out to LA in my little Volkswagen Passat. I met wheelchair users and support groups on the internet, and I stayed at their houses.
Nice.
Like, so I had an accessible place to stay all over the country when I did the road trip. I've competed in pretty much every adaptive sport. Took my wheelchair to the skate park, face planted a lot.
Oh my God.
Tried to front flip my chair in a foam pit. That was sick. It was sick. Like, people look at the wheelchair as such a limitation.
Totally.
And I'm like, if y'all only knew. And now I no longer do intense athletic events. I've broke my spinal fusion 3 times in my 10 years of being injured. So I've had 3 back surgeries now. The last one, they had to actually remove all the hardware from my back and replace it with thicker screws and rods. And he's like, the next thing is
He's like, chill.
He's like, next would be fusing your hips. And I'm like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So I went from, and last year was my last year competing in CrossFit. I may do para powerlifting because it's just benching, and that's my favorite day in the gym.
Yeah.
And so I am considering going that route, maybe competing, but I'm also considering family planning and maybe having a baby. So I'm like, I don't know which route we're going to go, but I'm just letting God guide my life. And I think that that's the most important thing. If y'all listening can take anything from today, like, let God lead your life and stop ignoring the signs. Exactly what you need to hear is coming to you. He is telling you what you need to hear, but you're probably drowning it out, whether it's with music, social media, experiences, substances, people, whatever it is. Just sit in some stillness and silence and truly listen to what's being told to you, because I'm sure there's something for your life that's a bigger calling, a bigger mission, and you're meant for so much more. Don't wait for something negative to happen to you to go after your life. There's no reason for you not to go do everything you ever want to do. You want to start a business, go start that dang business. You want to go ask that person on a date, ask that person on a date. Like, life is too short, and tomorrow, literally, the next minute's not promised at all. I'm proof of that. So go out and freaking get it, man. Go get it.
It's a viral clip right there, Lewis.
I love that.
Shane, I'm doing it. I'm doing it, bro.
Give me chills, dude.
I'm doing it.
What are you doing exactly?
You know what's weird is that
Will you go out
just
with
this
me?
me.
But no.
Okay.
Hang on a second, though.
What?
Hang on.
What's that? Sorry.
That was funny, wasn't it,
I just
Emily?
think that in order to be as beautiful a soul as Jesi is, and as open to the Heavenly Father, entering her life and guiding her purpose, you got to be a little on that edge. Call it crazy, call it whatever you want. You got to really, that faith is, call it crazy, people call it all kinds of things because it's unknown. And she chose to believe in something that's going to make her life better. And she chose to listen to the voice that's telling her to help people and do good to people.
Yeah, it's seeking the word. If you seek the word, you
But a
will
lot
find.
of people think that that's off. That's crazy. That's
And it's usually ones that haven't opened the Bible and actually look at the word.
Who are these people that you speak of? Shane? Who are
blasphemous, Jed. Blasphemous. Let them burn in hell.
But that's the thing that we were talking about, though, is that what happens is, and I get it, is because man ruins how people feel towards, like, institutions, church, or others, is because man is flawed. We make mistakes, not him. Like, if you really if you only look at what he speaks and what he says, the comfort alone, that's all you need. You don't need a person, you don't need a vice, you don't need anything that you think that you need to fill you up, whether it's money, fame, family, sex, drugs, whatever it may be.
Sex. Well, I'm sorry. I'm still a child.
I know.
I'm still a child deep down at heart.
We know.
I know. You got to really get on that edge, and you got to really hang on to the edge, because that's where God is.
But it's also, again, paying attention to how God works in your life. So
100%.
In 2021, this guy's sliding in my DMs. Like, you know, you get cold calls.
Yeah.
And this guy's in my email, and it's like, hey, there's no fitness app for wheelchair users. We want to start an app. And I'm like, man, stop spamming me.
Yeah.
And at the time, I had a small team, and I was like, hey y'all, can you just get on a call with this guy and see what he wants? And they literally called me right after, like, Jesi, you need to get on a call with him now, like now. So I get on a call with this guy. He's an app developer, and he's like, there's no app for wheelchair users for fitness. I want you to be the one.
Wow.
And I was like, wait, what? Oh, this isn't in the budget, dude. And he's like, well, I own the company and I'm giving it to you. And I was like, wait, what?
Oh my God, I just got the chills.
No fitness app for wheelchair users. I had been posting fitness content. App developer reaches out to me. I ignore it for 6 months. He's persistent. The Wheel With Me fitness app was born. No, I had went back to, my dad got COVID. I had to go back to work full time. So I went back to work full time as an orthodontic assistant. I was working in a dental office, changing people's wires and colors on braces. And I did that for a year. And at the same time, the app launched. And so I didn't have the time to pour into it because I was working 40 hours a week managing this clinic. And so a year goes by. I broke my spinal fusion in half, had to have surgery again, got me out of working that job. And when you take a step back and just look how God is orchestrating your life and what you go through to set you up for the next thing.
Yeah.
There's another wheelchair user who's actually here with me in LA. Her name's Nikki Walsh, and she is the fitness trainer for wheelchair users. Like the chick is the business, and she's in my DMs. How do I start an app? I saw you have an app. How do I start an app? And I was like, girl, you don't start an app. We merge. We're collaborating. Like, we're going to get further if we collaborate.
Yeah.
And so we merged, and it turned into Wheel With Me Adapt Fit. And so now we have 303 reviews in the App Store, 5 stars.
Wow.
We are the fitness app for wheelchair users by wheelchair users. And it's a downloadable app in the iOS store, the first of its kind. And God literally teed me up to get me to where I am right now. And so if you just take a step back from the chaos of your day-to-day life, from the stress, from the worry, and you take a step back and look at your life and how it's been orchestrated. Have you been in control, or have you allowed God to control it? And you can see when things go a little fucky, for lack of better words, that's usually you trying to control your life. But then when things are flowing and everything's coming to you, and you get the finances, you get the opportunity, you get the girl, whatever it is.
You get the girl.
Yeah. Or guy.
I'm not gay.
Hey.
Happily married. I was
Yeah,
just-
exactly.
But when
being funny.
when you get that, you realize, holy crap. Oh, why am I trying to control anything? And then as soon as things start getting awry again, you're like, oh, I've been controlling it. And that time in between gets smaller and smaller to where you actually allow God to be the director of your life. And now you're doing his work and everything flows. It's cool. And then you get a partner. So like I said, I met the love of my life. We're actually business partners. So him and our other partner opened the facility first, reached out to me on Instagram to come check out the accessibility of it. Went in, scheduled 2 hours of my day, ended up being there for almost 5. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're perfect for me. But it wasn't the right timing. And we spent all last year just being friends and building a solid friendship. And then next thing we know, he went to an apartment complex to give them cards for our facility and be like, hey, put this in your new client packets or whatever. And he's like, do you have a wheelchair accessible 2-bedroom apartment? And they did. And so we applied and we were approved. And a week later, we moved in together.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And it's been like 3-4 months now that I've been living with the love of my life. We meditate together every morning. We pray together. Like, it is the most powerful relationship and everything I ever desired. But it took me getting heartbroken, going celibate, really focusing on just becoming the quality of partner I wanted to attract. And I think that's where we really miss things. You have to be the quality of person to attract what it is that you're after, regardless of what it is you're after. If you're not putting the effort in to become that person you have to be to get the life you want, you're never going to get that life.
I was just watching that. You got to work on you all the time.
Hence why I mentioned in news recovery.
I'm just saying, where are we?
She's just putting you in your place, bro.
Well, yesterday you were going in on how I was like speaking nonsense when she just proved me right with usually not in every case because some people are married. Let me talk, you shithead. Usually when people come in and are early in their sobriety journey, it's suggested to not date for the first year. And you just proved my point because he was trying to counter that. But usually people that are married or in a relationship, that's obviously a different game because they're already coming in with their wife or spouse or in a relationship. I'm talking about these new kids that are coming in 19, 20, 21. Work on yourself for the first 365 days. make yourself whole, because what are you going to pour into anybody else? You can't even fill your own cup.
What Shane was trying to tell you though yesterday is
He just wanted to have sex with everybody.
he said, he was saying, look at his life, because he is that 1% of the 1% statistic that meant the love of his life in rehab.
No.
And
16
now
years ago, happily married, 16 years, 3
17,
children later,
bro.
17.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
That is an anomaly. That's an outlier.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's not reality.
It does happen though. Sometimes like you can't meet your spouse.
No, I 100% side with you that you have to work on yourself. There was many times in my relationship at the beginning of it where I had 6 months ahead of her, and I just had to drop her off crying at her sponsor's house, and I basically dragged her out of the car, and I said, "Hey, I I'm not here to help you. I got to help myself, and you got to help yourself." That was my stand all the time.
Yeah, and that's a good example of why it's suggested to not date, is because it's emotional wellness is imperative, because usually when you're in a relationship, your emotions go high, low, and in the middle, and it can definitely derail you because it's just how we're wired.
I say the same thing about people that are recently paralyzed. Most relationships, after someone has an accident,
Sure.
it's a very high amount. And most of them do end. And I tell people, don't date. You need to just focus on you. Don't
divorce or something like that. You're right. Any tragedy or any, you're right.
I mean, the loss of a child
that one's a
often
big one.
ends in a divorce.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, my boyfriend's youngest, so I have 2 stepkids, and his youngest battled brain cancer and twice. And he they got divorced shortly after.
Yeah.
So like even something like that, he made it through, and he's a crazy 9-year-old, but
Wow.
yeah. And like even that, but with wheelchair users, like even accidents and things like that, I tell people, I'm like, yo, stop looking for a purpose and trying, like, because people immediately want to help other people. And I'm like, yo, you have no idea. Like, you're still in rehab. You haven't even got out of inpatient physical therapy yet. You don't even know how to poop on your own.
Yeah.
And it's like, you need to figure out how to manage your bowel and your bladders and get dressed and feel confident again in who you are. You have to learn to love this vessel that you're in, regardless of how it is physically, regardless of that reflection you see in the mirror. You've got to figure out how to love this vessel you get, because you only get one of them. And so once you figure that out, then you can go focus on changing the world and helping people and doing all things. I support it, but not until you pour into yourself enough. And so, yeah, completely agree.
Same thing with addicts and alcoholics, man. Like, that fresh out of rehab. We do have a thing though that somebody with 1 day clean can help somebody that has 0 days clean, because that's reaching back, and there's the whole service aspect of recovery. But you're not ready to save the world, until you get some clean time, until you get healthy, and then when you get to the point where you are, at that level of saving people, helping to save people, because they ultimately have to save themselves. You have to remember to continually work on yourself, because somebody like me was doing it, and I was doing it, and I was in it. And at 9 years clean and sober, helping people, owning a treatment center, stuck a needle back in my arm and struggled to get back. Had to get my spirit broken again. Bad. To the point of complete and utter humility.
I think time is such a valuable resource, and we don't realize how important it is. It's Ed Milet. He says, well, just one more day, one more day, power of one more, right?
Yeah.
If we can just make it one more day, because like even 9 years pass, right? You're just, how easy it is to go back to that human we always were.
Super easy.
Rather than the one that we want to be or who we're becoming.
Yep.
But time, like we got to put the time in to get strong enough, to get resilient enough, to realize that, okay, I can beat this, because a month in, 2 months in, the world looks pretty dark still.
For sure. That's why it's only focusing on like the day right now, the present moment, because like Chad's saying, it's very much like, sure, both of us have a little bit of time, but that doesn't matter. Like, I'm just like the person walking in on their day one, because it's just a daily reprieve. Because I and him will go right back to like on and popping like never before. So it's like you have to stay diligent. That's why, like, in airplanes they say when the oxygen mask drops, you put your mask on first before you help whoever's next to you, your spouse, wife, kids, because if you're not alive, how are you going to be of service?
Help them, yeah.
So it's the same thing with anything.
I mean, it's
Just help yourself. If it's your wife, you don't help her. Just help yourself.
You need,
See
you
that, Mar-
need
so
Jesus.
that's the happy.
Hey,
marriage.
Mare, how you doing, babe? I love you.
That's the happy marriage that I'm
Yeah.
talking
Well,
about.
see, that's
Yeah.
the
You-
thing, right? That's why relationships eventually start to fail. People stop putting work in.
Right?
It's true.
Right?
You have
It's
to
very
stay.
true.
And it's like, it's very easy to, and it's in the book. That's why I do like, the book, because it's pretty simplistic. It's like we rest on our laurels, especially when things kind of start happening where get the job, get the girl, get the guy, and life starts to get a little bit better. Then you forget what brought you to the dance.
I'm one bad decision away from the life that I used to have.
Yeah.
I'm one bad decision away from the life I used to have. But I'm also, I love Ed Malay and the power of one more, man. I'm one more podcast away from being the podcaster that I've always wanted to be. The power of one more. I'm one interview away
From what job you need?
from the job I need.
Yeah.
One rep away from the body I always wanted. One more. The power of one more. That's what
One
he
more
talks
sandwich,
about.
I'm at the body I want. One more Baskin Robbins banana split at 9 o'clock at night. God, why did I do that last night?
The power of one more.
Power of
bro.
one more, baby.
You know, dad bods are in.
That's what they say.
They're not.
They're not.
They're never
No,
in.
it's just a sign that you're not taking care of yourself.
Are they
You're
in?
kind of lazy.
Yeah.
Emily
Emily says they're in, and
Emily
if
likes a
Emily
lazy
says,
looking look. I just don't give a fuck.
dad bods.
Wow.
There's like a gym workout men's clothing that's called
Did you see the new mannequins?
dad bod or something.
The dad
like
bod
that.
mannequin? There was a dad bod mannequin. They said
No.
this is the new look.
No.
They had a little belly.
No,
on the
this was like the opposite. It was mocking dad bods. It was
Oh.
like only fit guys can wear these shirts because they're the tighter, slimmer cut
Yeah.
shirt, and you got to be. You know who wears it? Our boy with the man bun that goes to the gym, tall, skinny guy, was on the podcast.
Oh,
Does finances.
yeah.
Oh my God.
What's his name?
Dang.
It's kind of a weird name. Tarzan.
Bart.
Bart.
Bartholomew.
Bartholomew. Yeah.
Yes.
Tarzan.
Tarzan. He's got that Tarzan look.
Yeah, he does.
He's got the Tarzan look.
I think he was a Calvin Klein underwear
Model. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was. He was.
What's the point of this conversation?
Not sure.
Dad bod shirt. He's the
wears
one
it?
that wears the dad bod shirt. Yeah, at the gym.
The way that you guys just recalled that information was just so wow.
Yeah.
How long have you two known each other?
Him and I.
10 years.
Yeah,
No, long.
and if you watch the Patreon,
14, 15.
you'll see how we met.
Yeah.
He was naked in a jacuzzi, and that's
Quite
all
an
I'm gonna
experience.
Oh. And that's why you finally asked him out. Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's all making sense.
Chad was in between.
Oh my
Ew,
God.
that's
Ew.
Chad was in between. I had just had my first child, so I was just exploring nature. You know,
I did
Apparently-
this-
I couldn't resist that smile of his.
Apparently,
I guess this was my dream, apparently, 10 years ago.
A little skewed.
We were Natalie Eva Marie's dream 10 years ago.
I know. Like,
Two
the
bald
way-
guys on her board.
The way I
Calm down.
The way I-
Definitely.
the way I see the vision board or the vision thing
Yeah.
is she had grazed through our social media
Yeah.
and she cut
Saw
out
us?
our
Yes,
profile
100%,
pictures
100%.
and she taped them to her little
Yes.
thing and was like,
100%.
Huh?
these
100%.
That doesn't even make
two
sense.
guys
Real life
are
pictures.
going to be
Real life picture. She
the
printed it
brothers
off.
I never had
There you go.
that are going to help me
Yeah.
get to the level that I've always wanted to be at.
Yes. Change my life.
I think I've changed yours.
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
That goes without saying.
For sure.
Why do you get all mad
I
when we say
know.
that? Yes.
Then they get mad when I actually put any 2 cents in. It's insane.
You know what's funny?
You guys have literally
You know what's
been
funny?
dogging me this
Right
entire
now-
time,
right
and then I
now,
gave
Dawn-
you one little
right
thing.
now, Don Wrinkles would say, "You have no lines. You have no lines."
Who's Don Wrinkles?
He's an old comedian.
Oh.
Whenever a girl talked, he said, "You have no lines, honey. Just sit there. You have no lines." He was from Frank Sinatra's age. He could say stuff like that back then. You know what I mean?
No,
Now
did
he-
you see the SNL skit?
Yes,
recently?
it
Yo,
was
I was
great.
stoked.
Yeah, that was
I was like,
nuts.
finally comedy
right?
is
I
back.
know.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, comedy is back.
Thank
Comedy is
God.
coming back. I think they
Emily's a big comedy.
it started coming back when they roasted Tom Brady.
Hell yes. That was a good roast.
Yeah,
Like
they let loose.
They
they
loose.
really let
Yeah,
loose
they
when-
really-
No, you guys, you know which one is really funny? Go back to when they roasted Justin Bieber when he was young. Martha Stewart was the goat on that one.
she's
She was hilarious.
Yeah, she was.
She brought
Snoop
some
Dogg was
bangers.
there. Yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was before people were
They
getting
roasted.
canceled.
They roasted Martha that back then too. Her roast was pretty good as well.
Oh,
Yeah, it
I don't
was
think I
pretty
saw
gnarly.
her
Yeah.
get roasted.
Yeah, they got her good.
I mean, I love comedy, and you know the cancel culture really like was fucking with comedy,
I
bro.
know.
Comedy's supposed to be funny. You can make fun of whoever the fuck you want,
Yeah.
whenever you want.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about who's my favorite comedian that
Theo
Sebastian Maniscalco.
Theo Vaughn.
Theo Vaughn.
Theo Vaughn, man.
Yeah.
I didn't know how good he was till I saw him in Vegas. And I was like, he didn't hold back. He went after everybody. Like, and you know, when you go into like Theo Vaughn and stuff, you're not allowed to like take your phone and all of
Yeah.
that stuff. And man, he did get he got people so bad that like they got up and like they were upset and stormed out. And I was like, this guy
Is good.
is good.
Yeah.
Because he didn't care.
I'm watching you.
He didn't. He didn't.
watching
He
you
didn't
in
care
there.
if he didn't care. You know, he
Who
went
he
after.
hurt.
He went
Yeah.
after white people, black people, Mexican people, Jewish people.
Why would you single out Jewish people like that?
It was great, bro.
Oh, I just understand. White people, black people, I get. Mexican.
He
fine.
went after Jewish people, dude, and it was funny. LGBTQ
Okay.
hammered them.
Right.
It was good.
It's like
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle. Dave
Yeah.
Chappelle did that in his most recent special, and I was
did.
like, finally. Listen, I have no problem with how anyone wants to live their life, but all I'm saying is over 50% of this country is inaccessible. There's a lot of places that I can't get into, a lot of bathrooms that I
Yeah.
can't use,
Yeah.
and new businesses, because the ADA is simply a cute little Band-Aid to make things look good. It's actually, if we want to go after somebody for violating the ADA, the individual has to hire the attorney, has to file the complaint, has to follow all the things. It's up to us. We don't have real protections and rights. It's like a whole thing. And like,
That's crazy.
we're here in 2025 wanting to talk about skin color and gender and all of these things, but there's a whole population of people
Wow,
that don't
right?
have equal
See,
access in this
there
That's
country.
we
actually
go.
insane.
There we go. There we go. This is part of my argument right here now. I'm just going to add this to the fire.
Yeah, add it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Real shit.
Real shit.
Like, so I'm very fortunate. I live in North Carolina, and our state has what's called Workers with Disabilities Medicaid. So because I have a full-time job, I qualify for Medicaid. When I was on Social Security disability, my disability payment was too much, and I couldn't qualify for Medicaid.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Swear it.
Yeah.
And so, but now there's limitations. So I'm only allowed to have $100,000 in assets. And if I get married and our assets are more than that, I lose my insurance.
No, you don't, because you qualify for a subsidy based on your income.
No, because I work full time.
Doesn't matter.
I'm on the Workers with Disabilities.
You are, but because of you still you can still get insurance based on your income.
You can get it off of the exchange.
Yeah,
but
off the
I
exchange.
don't pay anything currently.
Exactly, and based on your income, you might pay nothing or maybe a few $100s a month.
It's state by state's different. So like
It is.
in North Carolina, if I have more than 100,000 in assets and I make, I believe it's more than 10,000. Don't quote me.
Make more
I
than
know
10,000.
I know it's more than
a-
6,000. Then I start paying a premium. Right now, I don't pay a premium.
Okay, I
but
thought
I
it was
know
like
it's-
18 in North Carolina.
It's more. No, this is for the specific. So it's like a specific program that
Wow,
a lot of
okay.
states are starting to implement.
Because typically they do it at the poverty level.
Right. So if I was on regular Medicaid, yes.
Okay.
But because I'm on the Workers with Disabilities, because I have a full-time job and I make full-time income,
Right.
it's a whole separate Medicaid program so I could go back to work.
Right.
Because the biggest barrier for an individual with a disability going back to work is medical coverage. Our supplies are very expensive. My catheter supplies for me to go pee every single month,
Wow.
$1,200 a month
Wow.
out of pocket
That's
for
not
me to
right.
pee.
That's not right.
So if I didn't have Medicaid, I would have to figure, because I use a specific catheter that reduces clinically proven to reduce
course.
UTIs, right? So like I use a specific catheter that's for my health. If I go off Medicaid and go back to Medicare, I'd still have to pay a premium, 20%. I pay 20% of all my stuff.
Yeah.
Now, if I get regular insurance, I'm going to have to pay that deductible straight off the gate every single year.
And
That's crazy.
This is, I'm just going to give what I think should be fair, is that you should get the premium policy all the time, with zero deductible, zero out of pocket, 100% coverage. Like, I mean, we give it to Native Americans. Disability should get it. Disabled people.
You would think. Yeah.
We want to contribute to society, but there's so many barriers to access, whether it's the medical side or actual physical barriers to access.
Veterans should also get it, because I'm going to tell you, the VA is one of the worst healthcare systems that we have. I mean, probably it's a terrible healthcare
The
system.
VA shows why socialized medicine
Doesn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew that from Canada, because half of the people that are rich, he's Canadian, people that are rich in Canada, guess where they go? Where do your parents go when they need something actually
Mayo
done?
Clinic.
Mayo Clinic. Right, Shane?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I have friends that came to the States to get treated
Oh yeah. Everyone does.
because you don't even have access to it. But
No.
so my job was going into rehabilitation facilities and then VA hospitals. I sell catheter supplies and the supplies I use, essentially.
That's kind of cool.
And so the craziest thing to me about the VA is it's all ran under the same name. Each one operates individually.
I know.
Independently.
Like-
yeah.
It's like insane. It doesn't make a lick of sense. My dad goes to the VA, but he wouldn't be able to do it. My mom is like a juggler with the amount of doctors and then referrals, and then heaven forbid if he goes to the hospital and it's not VA, it's like the John Muir Hospital because of his health, then it's like you're having to connect the dots, and it's actually horrible where wrong medication will get distributed because there is no communication amongst, and there's like so many different things that go with his body. And if my mom wasn't as savage as she was, he'd be dead like 10 years ago for sure. And that's sad. Like that's terrible.
The people
Because
that
not everybody-
serve our country.
And how many men have like a woman like my mother? Not a lot. So they end up not doing a thing about it and then take their own life or don't get the treatment, and then
Die.
I
Yes.
wonder. Look, I don't know how many. I can look it up on ChatGPT, but I'm not going to. I wonder how many veterans there are under VA care right now that, and how much it would cost us, and what the budget is for the entire year, right? For the VA, and then what it would cost us, America, to give them premium policies, premium, top notch, Blue Cross,
instead
Blue
of
Shield.
TRICARE.
Yeah. Blue Cross Blue Shield, zero deductible, zero out of pocket. How much would that cost American taxpayers?
I'm going to tell you exactly.
less
I
less
know-
than the budget of the
I'm
VA.
I'm not sure, but I'm working on that. That exact question you have. I'm working on a 6-month reintegration program, not through TriWest or TRICARE, but through Department of Defense to pitch it to them to get a grant. So I'm working on that right now, actually, a 6-month reentry program.
Well, piggybacking on what you said, what doesn't make a lick of sense is you have multiple facilities that are VA, right?
Yeah.
But they're totally ran very differently, and there's not any type of rhyme or reason to that.
Or
which is
coordination at
weird.
all. Yeah.
And it's wild because you might be, so our products, you have to, in order to get a new product introduced to the VA, you have to get it on the formulary. And it's this whole thing through ordering and purchasing, and it's a big process. We are on the formulary for VAs. We are stocked in their warehouses that ship from it. Yet we'll go into a VA, tell them this, and they're like, oh no, we don't want that. So you want to give your patients a red rubber catheter, which is a latex gel-based catheter, which is literally like
Terrible.
sandpaper in
Yep.
your urethra.
Yep.
Or you can give them this hydrophilic catheter that's actually going to feel good for our older gentlemen that might have enlarged prostate, things like that. Right? You want to have the smooth, you want to have something that's like butter.
sandpaper going in there.
Right.
Oh, wow.
And that's what a lot of VAs are giving these patients, and they have the opportunity to give them a better product, but because either you're too lazy or you're stuck in your ways or you don't care, whichever the reason is, you're not giving the opportunity for us to get this into your facility.
Well, it's even crazy than going a step further. So you have guys that are in the military that have struggled with substance abuse, right? Or mental health. They go to the VA can't take them because they're full. So then they go to like outside facilities, which would be one of ours, right? Well, you would think that it would be easy to do because it's just a referral process and then no problem. We have, you know what, you're in Southern California, we have a spot, we're already with them, roll right into their joint. They don't do that at all. You have to go through like 17,000 hoops and then they deny it. And then these guys end up taking their life because they drop the ball and they take so long to allow them the referral to put them into treatment. Like that's where I don't understand like the hesitant of I mean, I know what it is, it's money.
Right.
That's all it is. They don't want to have to pay for an individual. So they'd rather like, you know, wait.
Lack of urgency, because at the end of the day, it's not their,
It's not them. It's not
their brother,
totally.
their sister. It's not their family member. And it's so messed up because as humans, we are all brothers and sisters.
100%. And how about have your job? We're in this studio because of the men and women that are boots on the ground serving for our country and giving us the freedom that we have today.
Yet we're leaving them too.
Mm-hmm. And then they come back here to the country that they fought for, and then we treat them like scum. That's like really disheartening for me. I just don't get it.
It doesn't make sense how people don't correlate that.
Totally.
Where's patriotism? You live in this country. It's a great country. You're here.
Mm-hmm.
You should have patriotism behind your country and the people that allow you to have these freedoms, allow you to choose where you want to go, what you want to do, the way you want to live. The only reason we have autonomy is because we have people serving for that autonomy.
For sure. And I think like you bringing up, I didn't really hear it get brought up as much in the last 2 years leading up to our election, you know, like, and obviously I can't read and watch everything, but you making the statement about just accessibility into
not good.
That's not.
I don't like it.
Me neither. Like that's crazy.
I'm fortunate to have got to travel overseas and travel to other countries. We do have really, compared to other countries, our accessibility is incredible, especially when you go to Europe and it's an older country. Or I went to the Bahamas, and when you go off the resort or off of the main strip and actually start to get into the slums of the Bahamas, like there will be a telephone pole in the middle of the sidewalk and you got to bump down a foot sidewalk and then cross the road to get to the crosswalk so you can keep going. And it's like, so in the grand scheme of things, it's not that bad, but it could be a heck of a lot better. And the things we argue about here in America, that's where I think a lot of my anger comes from, because our veterans are underserved. The disabled population's underserved. These are people that want to contribute to society and don't know how or don't have the proper resources. And yet we want to give people that cross the border illegally
Are we getting political right now? Because
is this anti-politics?
No.
I could go in.
No, we're not anti-politics. We're political. We just don't really talk. When you're going in a direction that I'm like,
we love close the borders.
we love it in the fact of the matter that like, you know, there's a lot of people, even not even the illegals, but people, the citizens. There are citizens that we overserve that could actually go out and get jobs, but aren't doing it because we're overserving them. When you've got disabled people who actually want to be of service, but are being underserved. And I mean, it's disabled people, the veterans. I mean, you are on just tooting my horn. Like, I woke up from a sleep because I was looking up veterans right now, and I was actually arguing with Chat GPT because it was saying,
like the number?
No, it did say that yes, but based on numbers, it seems like it would be more cost effective to put all veterans. It would cost less to put them all on private policies. But then you got to think about, then it wipes out all these jobs. Well, a lot of those people could actually go get better jobs in the private sector, because guess what? Private sector pays more than government jobs. Sure, you might lose some of these, government benefits, but man, there's nothing better to me than free enterprise than private sector industry.
How do we propose this?
I know.
Like yesterday.
Yeah. How do we?
Right.
I mean, the problem, one of the problems with the VA is they made that its own separate entity. How do you take that away from it's its own department within the government that runs itself with a almost $4 billion budget every year. $4 billion.
The thing is,
That's
there's
crazy.
400 a billion.
400 billion?
400
Wow.
billion.
That's a lot of cake.
Yeah.
but we have the ability to serve it in that way. And even these VA hospitals at the end of the day could essentially turn into other facilities. Like the people don't have to necessarily lose their job. They just no longer are funded by the government. But I think my mind goes to these organizations that serve veterans. So I'm thinking like PVA with Paralyzed Veterans Association, Oscar Mike. Like we have these small independent nonprofits that serve veterans in certain ways, whether that's with adaptive sports and things like that, but they lobby. And so if we can get them all to connect to lobby for this cause, that would be the biggest way, because we do live in a country where we have the ability to lobby.
Yeah.
Transcend does. They have their foundation rallies. Like that's the one I went with, and Birdman, and like a lot of our former Navy SEALs and
Little Wayne's guy, Birdman, the rapper?
no,
No? Oh,
that was his call sign. That's what they call him. But yeah, I mean those guys are coming together though, to try to make some type of change, because they've lost a lot of their brothers to suicide.
It's
So
not
it's
it's
Necessary.
yeah, very unnecessary.
And it's like so sad hearing their stories, because these are like the baddest ones on, like, you know, our SEALs are like, or our Rangers or Special Forces. Anybody that's a special operator, they're the ones that are going into stuff that we don't even hear about half the time. And then to have them come back to civilian life and then not get the help that they need is tragic, sad, crazy.
It could be, it's preventable. And I
Yeah.
think that's what makes it, that's the
Frustrating. Yeah.
saddest part, right? It's like, we could save these lives.
But I mean, at least now, you know, having conversations, open dialogue, hopefully we are able to.
Podcasts are changing
Yeah.
changing the way people think and see, because we're no longer being forced into a narrative.
Hypnosis.
Yeah. A narrative based on your political party affiliation and which news channel you
Yeah.
subscribe to, whether it be, because you only have like two, Fox News. And,
I don't really watch the news.
I don't either. I stopped watching
I'm a
it.
non-news guy.
I stopped watching it during COVID. I was really like into it.
No, I think I was like
all the way up to COVID,
I think I
until
watched
I
it
was
during
like,
COVID.
you know what? I am not gonna be scared into
yeah, nonsense.
oblivion.
Yeah.
No, I spoke up against it during the pandemic. I got my TikTok and Instagram taken down.
Did
at some
you
point.
really?
Shut
Yeah,
up.
yeah. Because
Wow.
I refused to wear a mask. I was like,
Oh, me too.
I live in.
I raw dogged
America.
it the whole
Right.
time.
The whole time.
Whole
And I'm like,
time.
just because I'm disabled, I take better care of my body than most of you people out here. I you know what? I think I'm gonna be okay. And
Did
then they tried to
anybody-
force that vaccine.
Yeah.
And I was like, and at the time I was signed with an agency out east, and I was doing small commercial stuff, and every commercial that came through, have your COVID vaccine, have your COVID vaccine. Actually, I came to an event here in LA in 2021 with a girlfriend from out east, and she fell off the curb and face planted, broke her nose. Just like the curb wasn't marked, it was dark, there was no light, went right off, straight to her face, wheelchair hit the ground, all the things. And so she came out here. It was her first time flying with
God,
me.
how
And I was like, oh my gosh. So I go to the hospital with her. During the whole time, I had her wheelchair, I had her ID, I had her insurance card. They would not let me in the hospital because I didn't have my vaccination papers. And I was like, listen, like she just fell off the curb. Obviously I'm lying at this point, but I'm like, she just fell off the curb. What do you expect me just to have that on me? Like I don't have that. I'm from out east. We don't need it. And they said, oh, you can go out to that tent. And so it was at like an events tent outside. It was probably 10 o'clock at night, downtown LA. I slept outside the hospital with her wheelchair, in my wheelchair, her insurance card, all the things. They told her that she came to the hospital alone. She didn't even know I was like, when she woke up,
That's
she
disgusting.
texted me. She's like, where are you? I said, girl, I spent the night outside.
That is so gross.
Yeah.
Well, out here in this part of California,
God, that's
it
like-
was like the only
that is
spot where you could
horrible.
pretty much go without a mask. We just refused to mask right here.
I mean, they were calling the
Little
cops
area.
at private gyms. The doors were shut. They called the cops and people inside the gym working out. It's like,
So it was
me a
funny,
light,
the
get a life.
cops here, because, you know, we were shut down, right? And the gyms were closed and everything, but a bunch of gyms just didn't close.
mhm.
That's the gym where the cops went. Cops work out too.
That's funny.
let's arrest people trying to like be healthy. Okay, that makes sense.
It's like the gym out in New Jersey, Ian Smith, Attila's gym. They didn't
yeah.
close the whole time, and like it was really cool to get connected with a lot of those type of people during the pandemic. So I was like, oh, I found my people.
Sure.
Right. And so if it did anything, there's always a positive for
Oh,
things,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's like it opened our eyes to the bullshit we're being fed nonstop, to the narrative that the government wants us to be against each other rather than
Yeah.
actually helping each other. Because
Yeah.
how are we more powerful when we actually work together regardless of our differences?
Yeah, because
Holy moly.
it says we the people, right? And that's but
Conquer-
if we're
divide and
if we're
conquer.
divided, then we're conquered.
We the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was you should have called me. Yeah, he tried to
I
when he
failed.
became American
I
citizen.
failed the first time because I didn't know that.
Really?
What
That
are
was
the
my that was my
Really?
that was my failing test. They asked me what are the
Wow.
first we the people first three words.
What'd you put?
I said
I am Jane.
I told him I don't know. And he said, no, seriously. I said, bro, I don't know. He goes, all right.
You're going back to Canada, boy.
See ya.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
The next
he was
guy,
like, "Can I phone a friend?"
I'm the only white person that failed. And apparently the person at the front desk there, the security guy, knew that. And he made fun of me when I came back. He recognized me. He said, bro, he said, you're the only one person that failed. I've been here for 10 years. You're the first person I've seen come back. Focus on the first 6 questions today. I said, thanks, dog. I went to the car, I studied, I went back in. Yeah, otherwise I'd failed again.
My brother-in-law from Canada also.
Did he pass?
Yeah, first time.
You
bro.
see, that's what I'm saying.
Like, but he read the book. He went in with he had his whole little
flag on
his
Oh, yeah,
shirt.
Yeah.
To get citizenship.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, my grandparents both passed and they
Yeah.
don't speak English.
He took it. He took it very serious, bro.
So
Shane was like, "But I'm married to Baron."
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it would be okay. It wasn't.
I mean, to be honest with you,
Actually, I think can't you get citizenship?
would you
just
guys
off
know
marriage?
what the first
No.
3 words of the United States Constitution was if asked just randomly?
Probably not random. Like probably not like just
Yeah.
off the cuff.
That was it. It was off the cuff.
But it is we
It was scary. I was in there. There was, it's like
Yeah,
it was like
totally.
a police building,
Yeah.
federal
the
building,
government building.
government
yeah.
building. You looked like everything's buzzing.
Yeah.
They just took my fingerprints.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
what they're gonna
bro.
do
And I'm
with it.
thinking, what are the first 3 words? I'm like, this is kind of easy. I mean, I don't know. He laughed at me. He chuckled.
It wasn't multiple choice.
What was like another?
He
question?
chuckled the first time.
No,
Then
I'm
when he knew I
curious.
was serious, and I looked, he said, "Wow, you're dumb." Then he said, "Oh, I'm sorry." Then he felt bad. He chuckled because he thought I was joking
Now I
when I
want to
said,
look
"I
up
don't know."
what the questions are.
What was it? Another question.
He doesn't remember.
Like how many states in the country?
50.
Working
Yeah.
on that 51, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What
How
other
many stars on the flag?
I think something like that. How many we just weird stuff, bro. Who can remember? I put
Who can remember?
put it all in my head.
No, you didn't. You
True
just
patriot right
just-
there,
you
ladies
just-
and gentlemen.
you just smoked too much pot, bro.
Okay.
Short-
All right, that could be it too.
Happens to the best. of us,
Right?
you know?
I mean, you guys are fellow pot smokers. You
Yeah.
guys want to
Yeah.
exchange any bud or
Listen, I tell people, I'm like, when they ask,
Is North
how did you
Carolina
recover
open?
from your spinal cord injury?
Right.
I'm going to say, Mary Jane
Yeah.
and God.
and,
God put that here for us. It's a plant, to be fair. As long as man doesn't mess with it,
Right.
we could pick it
True.
and it can nourish our body or mind or elevate us.
I mean, I have no problem with marijuana for anybody other than myself. It's
Yeah,
just
me
like,
too.
I I smoke it, and I'm like, first off, I'm paranoid.
Me too. And I hate myself on it. Like hate myself.
Like, dude, it's like the worst. I remember like being in high school, smoked some pot, tried to like hook up with the girl. And it was like, bro, like trying to like kiss a girl when you're all like stoned. It's like, what is going on here? Why is this so weird? and uncomfortable.
That's nice.
I'm more of a loner stoner for sure. Like I like to be with myself.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
I
I'm my
agree.
favorite person. I'm
Dude,
not gonna
no.
lie. Like legit, I'm my favorite person on this side of earth. Like I love spending quality time with me.
Oh yeah.
It took a long time
I'm
to
a
get
loner,
there, but
for sure.
yeah.
I'm alone all the time, especially now.
Shane,
It's good, though.
how are you?
Yes.
Like, I mean, have we ever seen Shane stoned?
Yeah.
Huh?
I all the time.
I'm always stoned, bro. You know what I'm
That's
saying? I'm basically stoned all the time.
My college roommate, she was smoking.
Joking.
There's some people that just.
But you're
it
only
works-
stoned for like 20 minutes anyways. Like even when you smoke a joint, it's like half an hour. It's like it's gone.
Not when I did it. I felt like get out of my
But the
system.
next
Damn,
half, like in a
get
half
out.
an hour, I'm like super hungry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like standing in the. I'll have like the refrigerator and the freezer open. Definitely like looking in the pantry to see if there's any cookies or chips.
That's where terzipatide comes into play.
that's so stereotypical. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, I was like I was like fat when I was a stoner because like I couldn't. I don't have good self-control with food. And then you add the marijuana on it. It's like I want the Mama Celeste pizza, or you know those little ones that they used to.
Or the banana splits every night.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, bro.
ice cream
Every night I order
Well, I'll
banana
be getting
split.
like two fat
Yes,
chocolate chip cookies
yes.
with some vanilla ice cream and make
there
my
you go. A
own.
little whipped cream on the side.
Definitely snorting that.
You know?
Snorting it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I don't do that.
I go deep. We go deep.
You
I
guys,
make protein balls out
Oh,
of peanut butter, and I do
Boring.
like a peanut butter custard, a high protein peanut butter
Nice.
custard.
I like it.
with cottage cheese.
That
Like
is
my
cool.
stoner snacks are actually
You're healthy
for
and
you.
good.
Yeah.
Because look at you.
Oh,
You've
I
been
get
bitching about this gosh dang banana split for the last like
I love
hour.
Right?
and I don't want to
She's
be
not.
like that.
She's
Yeah,
talking
I'm
about
not gonna-
her peanut butter protein little.
custard
Way better than
with
what I'm
the,
doing.
just
Yeah.
a small
Yeah,
amount of melted
I could change it
chocolate.
up. You're right. You know what? You put something in my head. I could make some protein balls.
But you won't.
Think outside the box.
I could make some protein balls.
Okay, bring up tomorrow, please.
why
Thank
don't you?
can get a
You know
ninja
those little
creamy.
snacks that Jimmy Queen made for us with the
Oh, with
dates.
dates and
so you
peanut
take
butter.
the dates, you put the peanut butter on
Just
it,
a little bit of salt.
a little bit of salt.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That does
Amazing.
not sound.
Oh no, it's really good.
Really?
Dates are so high in calories. Like,
Really?
Yeah,
If
it's
we-
like nothing but carbs,
Uh-huh.
right? Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, all right.
Well, so is peanut butter.
I
But
forgot
no, you
about
could
that.
get, listen, hear me out.
Yeah.
You could get a Ninja Creamy and get some protein. I prefer First Form. They make quality protein products.
Are you?
They- I
sponsored
love
by
it.
them?
I do use their products personally.
No,
I've been
I do
using-
too. I do.
Yeah.
I love Andy and Emily. They're amazing. and,
Andy, Emily, if you guys need a podcast to sponsor, we're all into fitness. We love First Form. I'll be happy to, use it on a regular basis.
For a fee.
But
No,
you could
what?
get the
For free?
chocolate banana
No.
protein is what I was saying. The
Yeah.
level 1, chocolate banana level 1. You mix it up and put it in a Ninja Creamy, and the next thing you know, you have protein ice cream. That's a little bit better for you, less calorically dense, and will help with that dad bod not being existent.
I like it.
I don't. Is it really called a Ninja Creamy?
It is.
Wait, Ninja Creamy, the blender?
It's so yeah. The blender company made it. It's called the Ninja Creamy, and it makes ice cream.
I have one.
What? Wait.
You would.
I have one.
I'm
It's
not-
sitting on my. I will take a picture of it.
Hold
and
on.
send it.
I
I have
don't
one on
think
my
I've ever
counter.
seen-
A Ninja Creamy. I have one.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
I ordered it like 5 months ago. I made 2 ice creams with it so far.
I know
was
that I
pretty
have
good.
like the Ninja
I have
in
the Ninja
Texas,
Creamy.
but
It's on my counter.
Is it the
I'm
same
gonna look it
brand
up.
as like the regular Ninja?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
it's
the
a Ninja.
blender,
And then
yeah.
and then so it's just called.
shut
the
up. How
Creamy.
have I?
It makes ice cream. You guys want it? I'll bring it over.
Yeah, I don't have a blender at the moment.
I'll bring it here.
It's not. It's
not a
It's
blender.
like a. It's a.
It's
Not
a
a-
it's a creamy.
It's a creamer.
Yeah. It's like a
Makes ice
creamer
cream.
rather than. Yeah.
It swooshes cream until it makes ice cream.
Oh, that's.
Does it make it cold or?
Yeah, cold.
Mm-hmm.
No, you got to put it in the
What?
fridge, I think. You can put it in the fridge. Oh, wait a second.
But then
I
when
don't
you-
I'm
know.
looking this
But
up.
after you
I'm
put it in the
confused.
freezer, yeah, you can spoon it
Yeah.
out. So if you like were to make protein ice cream out of yogurt or something and then
That's a
put
good
it in the
idea.
freezer, it gets really hard. But the creamy is more like ice cream where it's like that soft serve after it freezes. So it's still super scoopable. They also make an air fryer. I don't know if you knew that.
I do know about the Ninja air fryer.
me too.
I'm really big on ice cream. I love ice cream. Ice cream is my weakness.
Yeah, I like dessert.
Sounds like you need protein ice cream.
Except when I'm on trizipatide, then I don't want ice cream at all.
Wow, guess what arrived the other day?
Your Ninja Creamy.
No, my Molly Men's one-piece mankini.
Why are you getting that? Why?
I'm copying my favorite professional wrestler when she was doing her aerobics, Jane Fonda, a few weeks ago.
Shut
I'm
up.
going to do the
That
exact same
actually
thing.
is literally
That's
what I
the
was
same
wearing.
color.
Yeah, it was.
That's what I'm doing. I got it down,
Horrified.
man.
Emily must have sent you that.
She did.
Okay.
She's gonna, I'm
I
gonna
was
do it
like,
for my
there's no
vlog.
way. I'd be actually frightened if you picked that.
I have tidy. I have long johns on.
Are you
under this?
You have the pink ones?
I have.
No, you have to get. Was I doing? I can't remember if it was colored or nude.
I was what? No, did have something on. I have
I know.
white. I have white.
Horrifying.
I have
Emily's gonna be
white
horrified filming
tights.
Tights?
Tights. Men's tights. Men's very tight tights.
Am I going to be able to see this somewhere?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, on Instagram.
I will send you a picture.
Yeah, please. I'm I'm like, you are so outrageous, and I love it. Like, that's
I was
great.
looking for the
I mean, he is outrageous, and really, like, ever since I just like Steve-O popped back into my life, not him personally, but his fucking Instagram feed. I'm like, bro, Shane, you gotta start doing some of this.
Some wackadoodle
The fact he was trying to wear a thong, and
That's
But-
where
yeah,
that
like,
came
that's
from the
great.
Steve-O thing, because Steve-O did this like video for some watch thing, or what was it, Shane?
the
Aura,
no the Bluetooth the swoosh.
the swoosh watch.
What
thing.
is it? It was the band.
Yeah, the band.
The whoop.
Yeah, and Steve-O's like literally like rollerblading in a thong, not
Yeah.
a thong, but a Speedo.
Speedo, yeah.
He had like one of those like tight body
Yes,
suits on.
yes, he did.
And you could really see his package and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen this video.
I haven't
yet.
seen that- yeah.
Both of them have, I guess, multiple times.
Yeah.
And immediately Shane went and bought that.
Well, it just happened that you did your dance from the 80s. And I said, wow, I could do that.
Oh, okay. Emily, you're going to have to play the song exactly, too, for him.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be doing it in the hallway at your apartment. Emily's going to be taping it.
You know, I realized Pablo's been out there for like a half hour.
Oh, shit. Oh, you're right.
But what time is it?
2:30 already.
Shit, we were supposed
Okay, yeah. Hey,
Oh.
nice meeting you.
Yo, it was so
This
good.
was
to
No,
meet you
you're a
guys.
savage.
Yeah,
You're
savage.
amazing. Definitely the Holy Spirit's up in you because you're able to deliver something so beautifully. And you've done a lot of things that people that aren't paralyzed would even think about doing. So the mindset is just
It's off the charts.
off the chart.
Yeah.
Well, thank
Love
you guys. This has been such a pleasure.
Yeah, this was nice.
You guys
Really
are
family.
fun.
It was good. I liked it.
You're fun.
Thank
You made this fun.
Yeah.
Nah, I
Yeah.
think
True.
y'all just come with the hype every time, and
That's true. We do. We do.
I'm stoked. I'm teaching 2 live workouts and a nutrition course this weekend, and
Oh
you
my
guys
God,
are
where?
definitely
Get into
at
it in
the
LA.
Abilities Expo in LA. So
Nice.
my business partner and I have a booth there and everything.
Freaking
so.
amazing.
But I'm excited to have this energy to go into this
Oh, for
workout
sure.
with. Like, this is gonna be sick. I'm
Yeah.
stoked.
I love it.
Thank you guys.
Nice. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.